Stone, two damn phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
The Elite 11 quarterback finals for the class of 2024 just concluded a few days ago, as many quarterbacks from the class of 24 competed for the Elite 11 MVP spot and finalist spots as well. As the finalists were Julian, CJ Carr, Jaden Davis, Ethan Grunkmeyer, Will Hammond, Haas Henny, Colin Hurley, Daniel Kalen, Luke Kromenhoek, DJ Lagway, Aaron Noland, and Dylan Raiola. This year's Elite 11 MVP is Alabama commit Julian. Now here's how the Elite 11 MVP is decided and the Elite 11 rankings, and it's decided by the Elite 11 staff that accounts for film, traits, and camp performance into the rankings. In today's video, I am going to be talking about the Elite 11 finals and talking about quarterbacks specifically that I believed raised their stocks nationally, impressing many people, overall having a good week. Obviously, I cannot break down every single quarterback in this competition itself, as I believe a lot had very big weeks, but I'm going to be talking about some of the quarterbacks I believe had their biggest weeks and will ultimately be rising quite a bit in the rankings respectively with the rankings they currently have right now. The first player that I'm going to be talking about in today's video is the MVP of the entire competition, Alabama quarterback commit Julian. He is currently rated as a 5-star recruit according to the 24/7 Sports composite rankings, and he is rated as the number 13 player nationally and the number 2 quarterback in the class. Now, compared to some of the other players I'm going to be mentioning in today's video, he may not rise up as much as them because he's already a higher rated quarterback, but I believe his national rank could go up, make him a top 10 player in the nation, because he did have a very dominant week of performance at the Elite 11 finals and was the MVP as well. In his 2022 campaign as a junior, he had a good season where he threw for 2,708 yards, completing 66% of his passes, 27 touchdowns compared to 4 interceptions, while accounting for a total of 3 rushing touchdowns. He impressed many people during the week. Of course he did, because he was the Elite 11 MVP. He was very accurate, as he was number 2 in the accuracy challenge, just behind Daniel Kalen. He had very good ball scores. He was number 1 in pro day results. He thrived during the 7-on-7 sessions, and he displayed a very lively and accurate arm, and anytime he was under pressure, he seemed to thrive. This seems like he's going to be someone that could potentially play very early on at Alabama, and definitely had a great week. Moving on to the next quarterback, I have TCU commit Haas Henny. Henny is a 4-star according to the composite rankings by 24/7 Sports, the number 352nd best player nationally, and the number 22 ranked quarterback in the class. He is seen as one of the more athletic and true dual-threat quarterbacks in this class, and in his 2022 campaign at Aledo High School, he threw for 2,094 yards, 20 touchdowns to the air, and 7 interceptions, while rushing for a total of 1,276 yards on the ground, averaging a very impressive yards per carry of nearly 10 yards, and rushed for a total of 15 rushing touchdowns. He overall impressed many people during the week, as he was one of the more accurate quarterbacks, ranking in at number 7 out of all the quarterbacks there. He had a higher ball score, as he ranked in the top 3, just behind Trevor Jackson and Ethan Grunkmeyer, and overall, during the entire days, pro days, 7-on-7s, Henny impressed many people, and I do see him ultimately rising up the rankings sometime soon, from his 352nd spot nationally and his 22nd quarterback ranked spot as well. Moving on to the next quarterback, I have Florida State commit Luke Kromenhoek. Luke is rated as a 4-star composite quarterback, the number 131 player nationally, and the number 10 quarterback in the 24 class. He is coming off a junior campaign, in which he completed 65% of his passes, threw for 2,576 yards, 24 touchdowns to the air compared to only 3 interceptions, while also accounting for a total of 453 yards on the ground and 7 rushing touchdowns. Kromenhoek impressed many people during the Elite 11 week, as he was a top 10 quarterback rank-wise on ball score and accuracy challenge. Not only that, the 7-on-7 drills that they did on the final day, you could arguably say that Kromenhoek was the best quarterback during the 7-on-7 drills. And for someone that is still relatively new to the quarterback position, he definitely impressed many people with the potential that he has, the frame he has, and what he was showing accuracy-wise and velocity-wise on the ball, I could definitely see him rising a little bit in the rankings just because of what he showed at the Elite 11 and, of course, having a big senior year as well. The next quarterback that I'm going to be talking about is Penn State commit Ethan Grunkmeyer. Grunkmeyer is rated as a 3-star composite player, the number 623 player nationally, and the number 40 quarterback in the class. He is coming off a 22 campaign in which he threw for 2,649 yards, 25 touchdowns compared to 8 interceptions, while accounting for a total of 4 rushing touchdowns. During the week, he was top 3 in ball score and a top 10 quarterback for the Pro Day results. He also had a big last day during the 7-on-7 segment, and ultimately was seen as an under-the-radar player heading into the Elite 11, but ultimately impressed many people as consistently he was a top player inside that top 11 spot each day that they had, day 1, day 2, and day 3. And ultimately, I feel like you can expect him to rise up the rankings quite a bit, possibly even be a 4-star quarterback in my opinion. And this seems like this hidden gem could potentially be a great quarterback down the line for the Penn State Nittany Lions. With this next quarterback, I'm going to be taking a look at Texas Tech commit Will Hammond. He is rated as a 3-star composite player, the number 456 player nationally, and the number 29 quarterback in the 2024 recruiting class. In his junior campaign, he threw for 2,763 yards, 30 touchdowns to the air compared to only 5 interceptions, while also being a threat on the ground, rushing for a total of 828 yards and 9 rushing touchdowns. Hammond, similar to Grunkmeyer heading into the Elite 11 finals, was seen as an under-the-radar player heading in, as he impressed many people during the week, similarly as he was a top 10 player in the accuracy challenge, top 10 in ball score, and a top 3 player for the Pro Day results, actually finishing second. He had a very strong week and was a consistent player, and some may even say he was arguably a top 3 quarterback during the week. He showed not only his accuracy, his velocity, but was also a huge threat during the 7-on-7 as he completed 10 of his 13 passes for 113 yards and 2 touchdowns. This seems like a really good get for Texas Tech, and if you're a Texas Tech fan, you have to be very happy that you have a QB pledge in the 24 class by the name of Will Hammond. I can definitely see him rising in the rankings during this year's recruiting rankings class as they go on re-ranking players. Currently a 3-star composite-wise, I can definitely see him being a 4-star and potentially rising up to be one of the better quarterback ranks in this class. Well guys, if you made this far in today's video, drop something down in the comment section below. Who was your Elite 11 MVP? Who impressed you the most? Who do you think I should have mentioned in today's video? And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. B. Kelly out.